with Carol as long as Crawford or Vic takes care of Lewis. It's kind of the exact same.
As long as you take care of a brother or sister, you're fine.
Yeah.
Let's see, Lewis
and
with
Seven.
They spar.
Yeah.
Because they both use weapons. And now she's obviously better than him. Lewis is not. He has a sword. He can use it. Now the thing is that Lewis hasn't had a lot of opportunity to use it. Even back when the Eve Punks were in Germany in their homestead,
there was really no reason to leave. Aside
they
from
didn't leave the home a lot. Yeah. They only left to get what they needed to salvage. And the thing is that Lewis didn't have to use his sword a lot. He only used it. And there was an incident with the false punk. There was a couple incidents with other smaller machines, but they weren't major things. And a lot of the machines at this point in time were really disoriented because of the fabrication machine being destroyed later on. And after that happened, they basically, even Lewis and Brad talk about how they noticed that the machines were kind of out of it, like they didn't know what they were doing. So he didn't really have to use the sword that much. You know, when you got a machine that's continuously walking in circles because it's gone dumb, it's not something you have to handle.
Lewis and 8 are amazing. Lewis loves 8 because 8 he's still kind of the silent type, but him and Lewis both love weaponry.
Yeah.
And so they make it a thing where 8 is always challenging Lewis. And Lewis, of course, takes the challenge.
8, Lewis, let's be honest, Lewis, I don't think has ever won a fight against 8.
He's never won a fight against 8. And
he tries.
He definitely tries. And, I mean, when he loses, he's not a sore loser or anything. But
he's just like, again.
Yeah, exactly. And their relationship is kind of amazing. I love how they interact. Because it's just like every time these two start up, like if Lewis is having a really down day, 8's kind of the guy, whenever he sees somebody down, there's always something he can do to cheer him back up again. With Lewis, it's more so of, hey, grab your sword, let's fight. And after a while, Lewis is like, okay, I feel better. Yeah. And then
Lewis,
9. Another one of those little bromance relationships.
Bromance flings. It wasn't something. It's not as bromancy as Brad, because obviously Lewis doesn't have as much in common with 9.
Yeah.
But they're oh god, I just remember that's not how you do that.
Oh,
this is how you do that.
Yeah, Lewis just outright kisses 9.
And it's actually really funny.
It's hilarious.
It's back when things first get started with any pairings at all, and Brad and I are kind of standing there, and like we were giggling about it because we're sitting there talking to these guys, and we were laughing over how shy they were being with each other because they're just like, you know, they're really unsure about what they're doing. So, I'm so sorry, Rattles. I'm fucking retarded.
Feel free to send me poison cake or something.
Sal, God damn it, we love you.
God, Sal. Oh my God. Here, hold this while I reply to her.
We gotta do something for Sal other than just the contest entry at this point. But basically, Brad and I were kind of like shy, romancy towards each other, and at some point in time, we were laughing and giggling about them because of the way they're acting. So it's like, you guys, really, you're doing this, really?
Yeah.
And like at some point in time,
very lulzy.
Brad or 9-1 leans over and kisses the other one on the cheek, and Lewis is watching them, and Lewis just steps up, and this is the point at which I knew Lewis was going to be trouble. Because he steps up and
this was the trouble.
He's like, that is not how you kiss somebody. And they're both looking over like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And he's like, this is how you kiss somebody. And he just grabs 9 and does the whole dips him and kisses him. And they're both,
and you have to understand, you have to think like Rex Harrison,
and they're both standing
Frank
there
Sinatra,
like,
Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
So Lewis knows how to do this.
They're both standing there, kind of like dumbfounded. And when he does, it's like, what just happened? But yeah, that was kind of a lulz-worthy moment.
Yeah.
But as a whole, 9 and Lewis kind of respect each other. Lewis is probably one of the few people that doesn't really cast judgment. There's a lot of people that do cast judgment in the comic on 9 getting everyone killed, essentially.
9 has a little bit more retribution. And one always kind of nags at 9
him, and it does
about it, and it does bother him.
Yeah, 9 feels really uncomfortable about it, and he doesn't like the fact that he got everyone killed, and it really it's a big guilt thing for him.
Yeah.
So for Lewis to kind of respect him for it, it helps. Because everybody makes cracks about 9 in this. I mean, seriously, everybody does. And it's because of the fact that, you know, he's kind of low man on the totem pole. I mean, he came in and he saved the day, supposedly, but look at what he saved, guys. I mean, he killed almost everybody in the group, and then he's left with, you know, 3 people that managed to survive. Admittedly, he did get rid of the fabrication machine, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of people in RagNBone that kind of are like, don't listen to him. Which,
yeah, and I mean, it's not always in a serious tone.
Yeah, it's not always, but there and
it does get to him.
There are some scenes, like there's a scene actually where 5 begs him not to do something brash because
because he doesn't want anything bad to start happening again. And it's not like it's ill will towards 9, but 5 just knows something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah,
and so he's like, just don't.
Yeah, just don't do it. You know, go get help or go ask for help or talk to somebody. Don't do it on your own.
Let's see. Christian
to the crew. Okay.
Never actually really talked to 1.
But she does find him funny.
Yeah.
Like, she's usually cackling over 1 being retarded.
Yes.
2, she, again,
not really much interaction.
But it's also kind of like, you know, he's you know, nice old granddad kind of character. 3 and 4, she likes for them being kids. Oh, and did not realize that 4 was a boy. And there's actually a scene where 4 gets all pissed off because nobody realizes he's a guy.
Because 3 and 4 in our comic, we always we love the whole twin concept, but if you haven't noticed, a lot of our characters, the ones that I always say are paired up, it's normally like a boy and a girl.
And that's really funny though, because when I saw the film, I thought the 3 and 4 were girls. When she saw the film, she thought they were boys.
And so
we just kind of went both best of both worlds.
Yeah, so you have 3 as the girl and 4 as the boy. And the reason at least to me, the reason we kind of pushed it that way is because 3 is a lower number. So to me, 3 is a little bit shorter than 4, but even though they're the exact same size and make.
Not quite, actually. If you take a look at some of the screenshots, there is a slight difference to their build.
Yeah, but I mean, very slight. But I always see 3 as the girl. And somebody on the forum, I remember, pointed out where 3 has to be the girl because she's very greedy with a light bulb and she takes it. She doesn't want to give it away to 4. And 4 is always trying to get it. And it's just kind of like that little sister that has the doll that the big brother's always trying to take away.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just figure, okay, 3 and 4. And 4, they still act in synchronization, but they're also very independent.
Yeah.
4, you can tell his temper kind of gets to him sometimes, and 3 is always willing to comply, and you know, she's more interested and curious.
And it's funny, I think we've been lampshaded that at some point. At some point, Twain mentions, I think, that they're 2 little girls, and somebody is like, oh, they're 2 little boys, and
4 just gets this look on his face.
He gets so mad.
He gets so upset. Yes, and 3 is just kind of like flickering and
kind of amused.
Yeah, and it's just very amused at the whole thing. And then the guys are kind of like, oh, okay. 4's a boy, 3's a girl. We got this now.
This makes sense.
And 7 is just chuckling, and we kind of get
7 always knew.
Yeah, and we just get it's just like
9 even knew.
9 didn't really know, but 7 always knew. So it was kind of one of those. 5. Christian and 5 have a relationship as well. Christian loves 5 for a lot of reasons. One of the big things is when he sings. She loves...
She's a sucker for a deep voice. It's really,
yes,
really true.
And we actually...
Voice at all.
Now, anybody who plans on reading this comic, you have to understand this is a very musical comic. We do have a lot of songs in here for a lot of reasons because the music hits home better than if we were to play it out in dialogue.
Yeah,
and so
become boring.
It's going to be a flash comic, but in essence, what happens is when you do reach a point where there is going to be a song, you click on the panel or you hover over it to actually start the song, and the song will play. There will be an MP3 for it. And whereas
it'll light up the panels for you.
It'll light up the panels for you as the song continues on. It'll synchronize it perfectly with it. Whereas if there's no song, you actually have to highlight over each panel yourself to, go at your own pace. But with the music in particular, we do have 5 singing Mr. Cellophane from Chicago.
Yeah,
we have
voice actor. If you're not
have found so many songs for the canon cast to sing that it works perfectly. And with 5 in particular, the guy, his actor, is an actual singer, and he does do a musical. So we have a lot of music for 5. And I think this is actually one of the first songs that Five sings.
This is the first song Five sings.
That Five sings, because Christian begs him to sing. And so he finally gives in.
Because the Eve punks are very musical. Eve played piano, and it was one of those things that they always...
It's a pastime.
It was a way for them to forget the outside world when there were bombs and stuff dropping, and when you got all this crazy shit going outside. It was a way for them to not have to worry about it for a while. So it's a big deal for the Eve
So she begs him to sing, and begs him, and begs him, and he finally decides, okay. And so, when no one else is looking, and it's just the two of them, he sings Mr. Cellophane.
This is before Dickens.
Yeah, this is before Dickens. But this is very actually early in the comic, so you guys will get to see it early in the comic. But they have a relationship that is just really kind of cute.
Yeah, and it's like, of course we were talking about how, these people have a fling, and these people have a fling, and these people have a fling, and it's to explain how this kind of works, it's sort of the characters feeling each other out. It's like they don't, let's face it, take a look at the original cast. There wasn't really a lot of room for people to actually have any kind of, experimentation or any kind of relationships. So for this, with the Eve punks and the Nine crew getting to know each other, there is a lot of, people having flings and, groups together like this. And there are reasons behind it. It's because of the fact that these characters, they never have had an instance like this. And so it's like, hey, willing person. That sounds terrible, but, Christian really loves Five, and I wouldn't say that she it's hard to explain. I wouldn't say that she loves him as much as Bradbury. Now, do I think that she possibly could have? Possibly, but that doesn't actually happen.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a really close relationship.
And this actually, causes other things to happen later in the comic. And this actually causes a very complicated, complicated set of emotions for these characters. And you guys are going to be like, what? Later on in the comic with the way the characters act, because these early relationships actually
really, even though they were lousy and they were just kind of like time passing,
they actually do change things later in the comic with the way the characters interact,
and they become major plot devices.
Yeah, exactly. There's a particular scene later on in particular that has to do with Christian, Brad, Five, and Dickens, and it's really a big deal.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kind of amazing. Let's see. Christian and Six. Christian and Six were in the beginning always together. Before Carol started hanging around with Six, Christian was always with Six.
Yeah, because of the painting and drawing. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, when she first approaches him, it's kind of like she's spastic because somebody else does artwork. So she's asking him all these things about the art that he does, and he really can't answer that well because obviously Six is not going to know what style he does stuff in.
And you actually find out, we put it in the comic, that Six is...
Do you want to tell this, or no?
I don't know whether I want to or not. I kind of do, and at the same time I don't. I think we'll keep it out of here, but Christian finds out about Six.
Something out about Six that she helps to fix.
Yeah. So, they have a relationship as well.
Not that kind of relationship.
No, but a relationship in terms
they have
of...
a friendly relationship. Yeah. And sort of, I don't know, the Eve-punks kind of see him as this one damaged creature, I guess you could say, that needs help.
Kid.
Yeah, autistic kid.
Just needs help.
And so she and him get along really well because they both do artwork, and they do artwork together a lot. And for a long time, her and him and Carol and Poe would always hang around the same table. We called it the art table because it was covered in all their drawings.
Oh yeah, we kind of had this set up in the house where there's two tables in the living room, and we have a smaller desk table, which is where Christian, Carol, Poe, and Six and them would kind of always do the artwork, and that wall is kind of plastered with all these pictures on it. And then we actually decided to build a frickin' Lego bridge out of Legos, so that would go from one table to the other. That way they would be able to walk across, and people could go to the art table and then back to the main table.
Without having to get help to come across or go across the floor.
We do the same thing with ladders and stairs, and it's kind of like having Have you ever seen those videos where people build shit for their cats to climb up the walls and stuff, and the little miniature trains and everything?
Or Connects.
Yeah, and the Connects and the Legos and the erector sets.